Liverpool 3, Brentford 0. Pretty much the perfect afternoon at Anfield. Hopefully, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's ankle injury is okay. We'll await word from Jurgen Klopp on that. But in other words, it was a pretty great day. I'm joined by Mr. Chris Stonadge and Mr. Paddy Murphy for this match reaction, which has been brought to you with thanks to our friends at the all-conquering, fantastic OneFootball app. If you don't know what OneFootball is, I'm here to help you. It is the best free football app out there, bar none. Augmented reality, video content, news, fixtures, statistical analysis, everything that you need to get you through a busy football season. OneFootball has got you covered. You can download it entirely free with the link in the description below. Right, see how that's done, lads? Did you see a professional at work there?
Yeah, mate. I mean, it's better than what Paddy did. It's better than what Paddy did when we were doing our ad reads.
Speaking about what people did, let's try and connect the dots here, Paddy. Yesterday, Chris Beard. Today, Oxlade-Chamberlain goal. No Chris Beard. And he said, Paddy, and he did say this, that he had a little bit of jizz in his beard.
There's no statistical proof.
I can confirm as a witness, Chris did say that.
At least he's honest. I do appreciate the honesty. But look, Paddy, I'm going to start with you because I know that this could be perceived the wrong way. I know that'll be a tough one for you to swallow, Paddy. You know, not being the biggest Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain fan, but it was a tasty goal, that one.
Going from what was on Chris's beard to swallowing and tasty, this is starting raunchy. I like it.
Starting as I mean to go on, Paddy.
Listen, I think it's no secret that in the past I haven't been Mr. Oxlade-Chamberlain's biggest fan, but I must say in recent weeks and months, he has really stepped up a gear. And, you know, he scored a lovely header today, fantastic header. And then, of course, reverts back to a very Oxy sort of way of life and gets in a cheeky little injury, which I hope isn't serious, of course. But no, it's just a shame. Hopefully it's okay. But absolutely tasty finish. Lovely back post. Sadio Mane-esque diving header, dare I say. So we love Mane. No, we know Mane loves one of them. Just so.
From my memories of playing FIFA, Paddy, that was a very FIFA-esque goal.
Yes. And I think after that goal, he's going to go home tonight and Perry Edwards is going to sort him out, shall we say.
So we suggest another bun in the oven. Is that where we're going?
Perhaps that could be, they could be getting jiggy with it.
Right, let's go right back, Chris, to the team selection. So I think we all knew the back four was going to be that. You know, my prediction was exactly that midfield, but I thought maybe we'd see Nico Williams on the right-hand side of attack. Kloppo went with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain there today, and it all worked out fine. So your thoughts on the team selection and the performance?
Yeah, I think Ox is better in midfield. But you know, I never, you know, I'm ashamed to see Oxlade-Chamberlain on the starting lineup sheet, and you know, he came in and did excellently. I think Jones really excelled once again. I think he proved why he should be, you know, elevated in that pecking order, because the way that he can just dribble a ball and grab that game by the scruff of the neck, I thought he was excellent. And overall, all the changes were really good today. Especially, you know, it was great to see at the end as well, Cade Gordon come on. And you know, I didn't think he looked out of place. I tweeted earlier, like, yes, he did miss that chance, but to have a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, whatever he is, getting into those positions and being able to outpace the centre halves, it's excellent to see. And, you know, I'm just buzzing with that win, to be honest.
Here we go. I was pull this up for myself. I did absolutely say that, and I stand over everything that I said during the week. To me, the situation in midfield at the minute is that we're carrying too many passengers. I think Thiago, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Keita, we can't rely on them for varying reasons. But that being said, I'm absolutely delighted that he got his goal today. For you, Paddy, were you happy with the team selection and the performance? Because I won't lie, mate, I was getting a little bit tetchy as we approached half-time.
Yeah, I actually was very happy with the team selection. I think the reason was I do my ritual of going onto the Twitter account right on the hour, and my thoughts were, once I don't see James Milner's name in the starting 11, I am happy, and that's what I seen. So therefore, my brain was like, boom.
Liz is fuming in the chat.
I'm sorry, but James freaking Milner, he's a great guy, but he can stay on the freaking bench.
Yeah, look, the only changes I might have made was, as I said, Nico or Oxlade-Chamberlain on the right. I would have went with Nico purely because of the lovely impact that he made when he came on against Arsenal. But that being said, the gaffer put a team out there that got the job done, and I am not going to complain about it. A little bit unfortunate for Cade Gordon. Yeah, I wanted him to score that opportunity for himself, not because, we want to big him up or criticize him. Cade Gordon has a great future ahead of him. We wish him every success. But it was perfect, Chris, that the manager was able to take Jota off, take Firmino off, wrap him up in cotton wool, and give some minutes to young Cade Gordon as well. Perfect afternoon.
I thought Jota had a bit of a stinker, if I'm being honest with you.
Because I had him to score. That's why.
Out of all the players on the pitch, I thought he was probably our worst. Gave the ball away multiple times, missed a lot of chances. But no, yeah, it's great to be in the luxury of the position to be able to stick on, a player who's certainly got a massive future, and it'll only help him, mentally to get into these games 10, 15 minutes and get suited to the Liverpool system, because he certainly, as you said, had a massive future.
He does. Paddy, look, we can't ignore the fact that Rafael Benitez has been given his marching orders by the Everton board. Look, results weren't going for him. No arguing about that. But if any Everton fans think that this is going to be a magic solution, I think they're in for a rude awakening, because the problems at Everton lie very deep.
Yeah, it's a weird one with Rafa, because obviously, it's I have a respect for the man, so I don't want to see him get sacked, if you get what I mean. He's lost his job at the end of the day. So, ultimately, it hasn't been good enough. I think once you lose to Norwich, no matter what, the writing's on the wall. I think that result alone is genuinely, I think he would have been all right for a few weeks, maybe had a chance to overturn things. But losing to Norwich is inexcusable, unfortunately, for them. But yeah, they have a couple of deep-rooted problems. I don't know, Rafa Benitez is a quality manager, and they've had Carlo Ancelotti, do you know what I mean? That's why I don't know who they expect to come in and work miracles. I've seen them already calling for Jose Mourinho. I was like, what, are you delusional? Even if as if he would go to Everton first and foremost, leave Roma, leave sunny Rome for Goodison Park. But even if he did, whatever, it's just crazy. Rafa Benitez is the reason they've lost Luca Dean. So Rafa has given Gerrard Dean, and now he's gone. Oh, it's just funny from an Everton point of view. They've just been. I have a tweet here, right? This is how bad Rafa's left them. He's got rid of their director of medical, head of recruitment, manager of scouting, director of football, and Luca Digne. Left him in 16th.
I love that.
I mean, at the same time, it wasn't really working for them anyway. So I think maybe a complete reset might actually do them good. But they're going to have to realize, it's a project at the end of the day. And getting these big name managers in and spending all of this money is not going to help. You need to actually have a plan. There is no plan at Everton at the moment.
Before we move on and get back to the game, gents, I'd like us all to just bow our heads in silence for a minute for that decimation of singular COVID case at Arsenal Football Club. Our thoughts with Martin Odegaard during this difficult time. We hope Arsenal can recover from this one COVID case and somehow manage to field a team against us on Thursday. Our thoughts are with everybody concerned with Arsenal Football Club during this very difficult time. Hopefully they can all rally around that one COVID case at the club and stop loaning out players. That would be a help. Wouldn't it, Chris? Loaning out Maitland-Niles and Balogun there. No players, so let's loan a few out.
Should play the kids, right? They expected us to play the kids. Expected us to play the kids.
Fighting a good fight, Paddy. They're fighting a good fight.
I love it. It's so funny, man. Oh God, Arsenal won. God love. They're riddled. God love them. They might have to close the club down for good. They're finished, and they'll still have no Champions Leagues. Fuck you, Arsenal fans. I'm sorry.
What he said.
I'm just looking for the TikTok clip, to be honest. You know me.
Right, gents, let's start talking man of the match here. Who are we thinking? And look, of course, we'll stick a poll in the chat as well. And by we, I mean Connor. We'll stick a poll in the chat, but it's not an easy one to gauge, this one, man of the match, because I loved little baby giraffe gallops forward, except the shot, Paddy. But where was he going with the shot? It's like a back pass at the end.
One day, Joe Matip's going to rifle one top bins from 50 yards, and that's going to be the best day in the history of Liverpool Football Club. I love him. Man of the match, though, that is a good question. I'm open to suggestions, to be honest.
I think Henderson, if I'm being honest. I think he's taken a lot of flack recently, but in every situation where Brentford were coming forward in that half space in between Tony and then Burma coming through, Henderson was there to sweep up. He was good passing the ball. I thought overall he was solid 8.5 out of 10, as you would be. It'd be Henderson for me.
So Henderson, Fabinho, Robbo would be three names that kind of pop into my head there when we think about it. That cross from Robbo alone deserves to be in the conversation because that was beautiful. That was peak fullback behaviour. So yeah, that would be That would be a
I
couple.
thought
Curtis
Alisson had
played
a
well. Curtis played well.
Alisson had a
very
decent
well.
Aston as well, yeah.
It's weird because it hasn't been easy to pick out man of the matches lately because it's been a collective effort when we've done well and we've ground out the result. It hasn't been because of moments of brilliance or magic. So yeah, difficult one to pick out.
How about out of left field? How about just for the culture, Rafa Benitez, man of the match. When the crowd started singing the Rafa Benitez song, oh my god, you just have to love it, don't you? Imagine being an Everton fan. Oh my god, Well, my brother is. I've already
messaged your brother.
Reviews.
Have you messaged your brother, Paddy?
Oh yeah.
So Fabinho's already absolutely romping, but the poll is there if anybody wants to have a little vote on it. And look, will we have a little go match reaction for player ratings, gents? We'll all do our own ones. We start with Alisson. We'll start with Alisson. So Chris, I'll let you go first, and Ali, and then we'll come to an average.
I'd say 6.5. I mean, I think he didn't have much to do, but what he did do, he kept out well at the end. A couple of wayward passes, which is why it's not higher. But yeah, I think 6.5 would be fair.
I'm going to go 7 because he clearly trimmed the beard, and I appreciate you trimmed beard today. So I'm going to go 7, Paddy.
Yeah, I'm going to echo your 7. I was going to go with 7.
So 7 for Alisson then overall. Trent at right back. Chris, what says you?
Again, a couple of wayward passes, but I'll tell you what, some of the ones that he pulled out today were just saucy. Towards the end, I think he pinged one across to Robertson. I was just sat with Izzy. I was just like, oh, what a ball, man. What a ball. I mean, the noises that are coming out of my mouth with him. But I'd say again, 6.5.
And his mind went exactly where mine went. Exactly.
I know. 6.5 for me.
6.5. I think that's a bit scaldy, Paddy. 6.5.
A bit harsh. Just
I'll take it back. He got the assist for Fabinho, so 7. There you go. 7.
Yeah, 7 for me.
Yeah, we'll echo that. A full house of 7s. Andy Robertson on the left hand side. I'll have a bash at this one first, Chris, because save you embarrassment with your low scores. We'll give Andy Robertson a 7. I'm only joking, mate. We'll give Andy Robertson a 7.5 for me anyway. That assist gets him a half a point because that was begging to be headed in, Chris. It was begging for a diving header, and I love a diving header.
It was magnificent, wasn't it? It was, and I think actually one thing that we have learned from today is that putting corners that beat the first man actually challenged the opposition team. Robertson,
what?
I know, right? Robertson and Trent putting their ball in, actually beating the first man. We actually looked threatening from corners. We actually scored from a corner, guys. We scored from a corner. It's unbelievable. But yeah, I go 7.5 for Robbo.
And Mr. Murphy?
I was thinking 7.5 as well, so let's just go with that.
Perfect, 7.5. Centre backs, and once again, I'm going to make the case that Joe Matip was the better centre half, gents. That's where I stand on this one. For me, Joe Matip's right up there this season. Definitely our best defender. I'm gonna go with 8 for Joe Matip. I think Joe Matip did well today, and I love those saunters forward, Chris. I mean, as Paddy said, if he hadn't been able to get a grasp of that shot and tore the net off, that would have been one hell of a goal.
We have to recognize as well. Matip does a lot of the action, and without Virgil, Matip wouldn't potentially have the license as much to run forward and roam and do all of this action. But yeah, as you mentioned, I thought he was excellent today. 8 for me, really, really good.
And for yourself, Paddy?
Yeah, no, as you said, I would say he was our best centre half for sure. He's just people like non-Liverpool fans like criminally underrate Joel Matip. Like he's rarely in their conversation for best centre backs in the league, but he should be because he has been and is. He is phenomenal. So yeah, I would echo an 8 as well. I think that's a fair shout. Any higher is a bit, but I think 8 is perfect.
Here's a question to everybody in the chat. Could there be a more laid-back, cool pair of centre-backs than Van Dijk and Matip in the world? I don't know of any that are so calm and composed. That fucking
Konate
chill.
in there as well. I think Konate is really quite composed and calm as well, even though sometimes he can be a bit lax. Joel is brilliant.
Yeah, the funny thing about that though, I think that's actually one of Van Dijk's. It can be one of Van Dijk's very few flaws because he's so good and so relaxed that sometimes he switches off every now and then. Do you get me? He's that good, but sometimes he's just so good. Then he's like, oh shit, I actually have to work here, fuck, because he usually can just stroll and go 50% and he's still class. But yeah, I love the both of them. Where we have our centre backs are sorted for the next one, and obviously with young Konate on the bench as well for now. Excellent.
On Van Dijk, I'm going to go to 7.5 straight out, just a little bit behind John Matip for me, but did nothing wrong, Chris.
No, absolutely. And as I mentioned, I think having Virgil there allows Matip to do all of these mazy runs and still, be confident that he won't be out of position. 7.5, completely fair.
Paddy?
I was going to go 7 for the sake of argument, but yeah, I just think slightly below Matip. Just for based on the relative ratings of the rest of the team, I think 7 would be fair for me.
Before we move into the midfield and attack, I want to ask you both a question. What was different, Chris, about this game to the game in Brentford? What allowed us to have that bit of breathing room and, I suppose, limited Brentford's attacking intent or contributions to the game? Because it was a bit of a gunslinger at the Brentford Community Stadium. It was a bit end to end.
It is interesting, isn't it? I don't think too much changed. Maybe more so with Brentford than with us. I still think they had chances. But they just didn't take them this time, and that's the having the Anfield atmosphere and the Anfield crowd there certainly helps that. I don't think too much changed with us. I think Robertson potentially performed better. That's the only thing that I can really come up with. I think the changes were more on Brentford's side than ours.
Yeah, Paddy. I mean, one thing off the top of my head I can think of is they didn't get as many opportunities to get the ball in from wide areas, create those overloads from either set pieces or an open play. And also somebody said there in the chat, we kept the ball a lot better today perhaps than we did in Brentford.
Yeah, absolutely. I think obviously it was a better performance from us, but I do think, as Chris said, I think it's more of a Brentford thing. I just don't think Brentford were as good today as they were in their home stadium. I think because it was the start of the season, they were really fired up. Their pressing was outrageous, and they just weren't allowed that sort of breathing room at Anfield. And I think, again, it's just the help of the home crowd. Because I don't think we were particularly horrific again the Brentford game. Like we were cruising at a point, and then of course we do the classic Liverpool let a 2-goal lips lead, if my memory serves me correctly. But yeah, I think it was more of a Brentford not being as at it. But even if they were at the top of their game, I think it still would have been routine enough.
Moving into the midfield then, gents. I mean, Fabinho, for me, I go straight to a 9. I think he was probably our best player on the park. And I a bit of an up there, Chris, for the goal. I'd admit he gets an extra half point for the goal. But I just thought you could notice him in midfield. He did everything you wanted Fabinho to do. Won back the ball, broke up play, tried to get involved going forward. So, I might be a little bit high here, but I do appreciate his performance.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, who would have thought that Fabinho would be our top goal scorer in 2022, right? But no, he's 3 goals in 3, 4 in the season so far. He is an aerial threat. People seem to forget that, maybe because he's not quite as strong in the air as the likes of Virgil. But you know what? He was excellent again. I'm going to slightly lower the 8.5, but I thought he was excellent, as Fabinho usually is.
And Mr. Murphy?
This is a tough one because it's finely poised. I'm gonna 8.5 as well.
8.5.
I wanted to err on the side of caution, but I thought he's fantastic, and you want some Czech lad.
Right, the other two midfielders, Jordan Henderson today. Chris said at the start of the video that he thought Henderson played really well, got around the pitch. He was popping up all over the place, in fairness to him. Certainly no lack of endeavour from Jordan Henderson. Just, I suppose, Chris, the only maybe critique is, for all that there wasn't much impact from an attacking sense from Hendo.
I see what you mean. Sometimes his final ball can be aimless, but I'm not sure that's tremendously his job. But yeah, as you mentioned, the effort was there. There was more accuracy to his passing. I think recently sometimes he's just hoofed it for no reason. I think he picked out Jota and Firmino quite a lot today, and yeah, I would give him an 8.5, same as Fabinho.
Well, Chris is wrong, Paddy, so let's correct this.
Yeah,
I've got to back my man on the match choice.
I don't get the 8.5 for Henderson is almost 2 points too high for me. I thought in the first half especially he was a bit meh. I think he's been in the last few weeks he hasn't really been doing it for me at all. He's worked his arse off, don't get me wrong, but he's been a nearly man, I would say. Like he's just been so close but yet so far. So an 8.5 was way out of the ballpark for me. For me, I'm going with, as I said, 6.5.
Dum Luigi number 2. I don't know how many times I have to say this before some of your dumb asses cop on, but it's you are wrong. You are, mate. Get the apostrophe and the E in there, for fuck's sake. It's not your.
No,
I mean,
it's my wrong.
Yeah, it's horrendous. But we assume it's about Chris anyway.
I thought you were talking to Chris there when you said dumb because of the 8.5.
No, I'd never be that mean to Christoph. Never.
Never.
I'll leave that to you, Paddy. I'll leave that to you, Chris. So what are we at? 8.5 from Chris. What did you got, Paddy?
6.5.
I'll split the difference at 7.5. So we'll go.
So what does that make it?
7.5.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh,
how average it
was. Sorry, yeah. It wasn't my strong suit, I tell you.
We move into Curtis Jones, who I actually thought was a bit of a breath of fresh air today, Chris. I love Curtis. I love him. I love the fact that he's always willing to drive on, and a lovely bit of footwork out on that left-hand side in the second half to get a shot away. That deserved the goal.
Certainly did, mate. Certainly did. As you mentioned, the way that he can take a game by a scruff of the net. If you give Curtis Jones the ball, you never know what's going to happen. It's that unpredictability. I'd go with an 8 for Curtis. I think he, as you mentioned, was a breath of fresh air. The midfield was the strongest part of our game today, which is a big rarity in recent years.
Yeah, Mr. Murphy, did you give a score there for Curtis Jones? Sorry.
Yeah, 8 for me, mate.
8 for Curtis Jones. I think that's fair. Paddy?
Yeah, I'm echoing what you all said. Curtis was a breath of fresh air today, and I was buzzing to see him start because I thought his cameos the last few weeks, bar the Shrewsbury game, has been really good, and it just provides something different from midfield, right? So yeah, no, I wouldn't go quite as high as 8. I would probably say 7.5 just for the sake of argument. But I really, I think we have a gem there. Hopefully he can, prove himself. But he's really doing a good job in the absence of others.
I'll say 7.5 as well, purely just so Chris doesn't get his 8.
Love it. Good work, team.
Sorry, Chris. Moving into the front three, gents. I mean, let's start off with right-hand side. Chris, do you need the tissues right here before we start talking about Oxlade Chamberlain?
I've used them all up, fella. I've used them all up.
I thought that performance, Chris, encapsulated everything we've seen from Oxlade Chamberlain. Some good, some bad, some really good, some really frustrating. But ultimately, I just hope he's okay after the ankle injury.
Pretty much, yeah. I think he walked off quite well. I genuinely do hope he's okay because he will be a massive asset in this time. But as you mentioned, there were some moments where, just the wrong pass was picked out. I recall at the end of the first half where he was driving forward, had an easy pass to I think it was Bobby on the right, but instead tried to find Jota on the left, and it was just frustrating. But then, he pops up with, some great balls, some great flick-ons, and, a great header. So, it's difficult. I'm going to say 7 for Ox overall.
You know what? I don't disagree. I think 7's a fair score. I'll probably echo that one for myself. The goal obviously gets him an extra half point. So, yeah, I'll go with 7. Paddy?
Yeah, no, I thought Ox was, as Echo will correct, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. And again, I hope he's okay. But yeah, I'll go with a 7. Well, it doesn't matter what I go for because it already is a 7. But I'll go with a 7 just to be on the same page.
For Diogo Jota, it is a difficult one because, he was involved, had a shot saved, hit the post. But I get where Chris is coming from. I didn't feel this was Diogo Jota's typical performance in a Liverpool shirt. So I'll start it off here and give Diogo Jota a 6.5 because I know he's capable of a lot more than that. I feel he should have scored as well, if I'm being really honest. The time he cut inside, I feel he should have took that one away. So maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but the reason I'm probably being that harsh, Chris, is because I know exactly what Jota's capable of, and I love the lad, and there's better days to come.
I think you're being kind rather than harsh, Craig. I thought, we've come to expect from Diogo Jota, clinicality, being able to link the play.
Is that a real word?
His touch was off. Yeah, clinicality is a word.
Really?
Yeah, mate.
It's just not an Irish. It's just not an Irish thing, Paddy. If it was Irish, you wouldn't have
his touch was off. His finishing was off. Everything was off. 5 for me.
I don't know if we've ever given anybody a 5, Chris. I mean, I don't know what he's done to you.
I thought he was shocking today. It's not like Diogo Jota. I love the honestly, he's usually so clinical, but there was nothing there today. Nothing really. He should be the senior one there.
A 5, Paddy, right? So, we'll start the hashtag Chris hates Jota, but apart from that, Paddy, everyone.
No, to be fair to Chris, I do agree. I don't think Jota was at his best today. And I think if anyone, I think Jota is really missing Salah and Mane, particularly. I think he suits that mold that we have there when he's playing through the middle, and that's where he needs to be playing. So he wasn't quite at the races today. I think a 5 is wholly harsh. So I will go with a 6. 5 is a bit tough.
What does that end us about 5.75, something like that, and the averages, something around that mark. So we'll call it a 6. And Bobby Firmino, a difficult one as well, because Bobby, again, playing through the centre, Chris, but was dropping deep to link up play at times, trying to get involved. Lots of endeavour from Bobby. 7, maybe. I think 7.
Yeah. I'll probably go 6.5. He got the assist for Taki at the end. I mean, somehow I almost thought he messed up that pass to Taki. He finished it quite well, actually. On the
won the ball back as well, brilliantly on the edge of the box.
Exactly. And that's typified Bobby Firmino, isn't it? And showed great composure there. I think 7 would be a tad kind. 6.5, I think, would be the way for Bobby, because I don't think he was up to the standard. I think Ox was probably our best forward today.
Of course you do.
Yeah. No, on Bobby, I thought he tried and he tried and he tried. He worked hard, as he always does. He had that little bit of, he'd link up play. I think a 6.5 is once again wholly unfair. I will go with a 7 for Roberto Firmino.
So there we go. There's the player ratings. Look, 2 things to talk about before we finish up, gents. Firstly, I want to talk about Philippe Coutinho and his impact for Steven Gerrard yesterday. And this is where I am with Coutinho. I don't want him back at Liverpool, never. But I do admit that I want to see him do well at Aston Villa. I do, because I don't think he's a bad person, but the way he left was shitty. But I do want him to do well for himself, because I think his career deserves better than he's shown over the past few years. So if Stevie G can put an arm around him, Chris, and get a tune out of him, the Villa fans will definitely get behind him. Maybe there's some good days ahead for Philippe Coutinho.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was a really significant moment in for the rest of his career, really, yesterday. That'll give him the best place to start. I think I read a piece on him in The Athletic, I believe, and it was saying that he depends so much on confidence. We had Brendan Rodgers and Jurgen Klopp who put their arm around him and said, "Look, Felipe, you are going to have bad games, but we'll still believe in you." And I think Steven Gerrard will do that as well. And if Aston Villa can get a fully firing Coutinho, which I don't think they can, but I think they can get 90%, then they will have a big chance of European football this and next season. Yeah,
it's a nice piece of business for Villa, Paddy, isn't it? And Dinga had a decent start as well, in fairness, for Gerrard yesterday, but it was just mainly beautiful seeing United capitulating the 2-goal lead.
Yeah, and listen, on Coutinho, listen, I don't know if I'm the minority or the majority. I don't care. I love the man. I have such a soft spot for him. And when he scored that goal, I lost my reason. I was like a proud dad seeing him come on. I'm sorry. I just love him. I have such a connection with him. I don't know why. For me, I'll always want him back. And I think I think he's going to, I said it before, he actually made an immediate impact. I think he is going to be unbelievable for Villa. He is a confidence player. He is going to get the confidence. He loves being the main man. The fans are going to adore him. They already do. He is going to be unbelievable for them, honestly. And I don't think he'll quite hit the level that he did with us, because obviously he's just naturally just a bit gone down the road. But I genuinely think, sorry, Liz, sorry. No, I think Coutinho is going to go from strength to strength, and it's going to make me want more and more. I feel like it would have been such a good field story to get him back in January. It would have lifted I think everyone low-key would have been happy about it. I think he would have been a great asset off the bench. Having Philippe Coutinho on our bench improves at no end. So if you're talking from just a football point of view, getting Coutinho with it on a loan with no option to buy, no obligation to buy, would have been an absolute shrewd piece of business from the club. Don't know why we didn't do it. I don't know if we had a chance to do it or not, but I'm happy he's in a good place. The second best place he could be for me is Villa with Gerrard. And yeah, Digne was quality for them, and another great piece of business from Villa. And they're looking really, really tasty. And if it wasn't for Morgan Sanson's idiocy, what's the word? Idiocy, there you go. As Coutinho was coming on, they would have won that game. That would have been the winner.
Yeah, and that would have been even more fun to see United fall apart like that. Look, gents, before we finish up, quick word on the game coming up on Thursday. Obviously, head to the Emirates, 0-0 after the first leg. Fabinho absolutely slaughters the man of the match vote there with 65%. So he is the Anfield agenda man of the match. Thank you, Connor, for the poll. So, Chris, how are we feeling going into this game on Thursday? What setup would you like to see, and what's the prediction?
I don't know. It's all about how we respond. I think that will give us confidence, that result there. We've got a feel for Arsenal. They have got that one positive COVID case. So,
Yeah, the phone box outbreak, as I'm going to call it.
We've got to be so sorry for them. So, I think we'll win. It'll just be dependent on whether we can remain solid in the opening minutes, because I think Arsenal will be really fired up for it if they play, by the way. But yeah, I think they'll be fired up in the first sort of 20-25 minutes. If we ride that out, I think we go on and win the game easy. I
think we're capable of winning as well. I'm not going to be as arrogant as I was going into the game because of what happened in the first leg and the fact that we created very little. And I'm going to bite my tongue a little bit, but I won't lie. I do think we can get the win. I do think we are better than Arsenal. And I also haven't got a clue, Paddy, what type of team we may see from Arsenal, but I expect Klopp to go relatively strong again.
Yeah, listen, I feel like there was lessons to be learned from the first leg. If we're better than Arsenal, with our best team, with the current team we have available, we still are better than Arsenal. Not unbelievably clear, because I've actually played really well of late, and they're defensively really staunch. But again, I think the red card impacted us so much last day, so it's going to be a fresh game. I think team selection has never been more crucial. He needs to pick the right team with a nice midfield, with a nice balance. The team that started today, go again with that, give or take. Even, do you know what? Honestly, I'd be, well, Ox is probably going to be out. I'd be starting. I'd want to. It's bold. Start Cade Gordon.
Ooh,
ahead of Minamino.
Ahead
of Minamino.
I'd rather Nico personally, but I'd rather Cade Gordon ahead of Minamino. I'm with you on that one.
It's a bold one, but I think Klopp loves a bold call every now and then. I think that could. Listen, people say, "Oh, it's too much pressure." Listen, pressure's for tires. If you're good enough to be on the bench and play for us now, you're good enough to play in the game against Arsenal. It's as simple as that. He's a quality player. We can guide him through. I just think it's written in the stars.
Yeah, well, I really do want us to get to the final, mate. I'd love the Anfield faithful to get a day out at Wembley, and yeah, look, silverware is silverware. So fingers crossed, Chris, we can go to the Emirates, and look, they're going to be up for it. They defended really well when they went down to 10 men against us. We created very, very little other than that Minamino opportunity, really. So yeah, look, I think we can do it, but we've certainly left ourselves some work to do going to the Emirates.
Dare I pose a question?
Go on.
Currently 11 points behind Man City with a game in hand. Win that, goes to 8. Is it over, or do we have a chance?
Oh, Paddy. I love the optimism.
They're on a 12-game winning run, so
they got to lose soon, right?
They got to drop some points at some point. But can I sit here with a clear conscience and think that the fact that we've played the home games against the difficult teams already, with the away ones to come, I never say never, but I certainly wouldn't be sticking even your money on this, Paddy, for us to go win the league at this point. I mean, if it was any other team other than Man City in that position, if it was Chelsea that were 8 points clear, I think maybe. But I just think they've been here too many times, Chris. They've got, that muscle memory of winning league titles, and I think it's a big ask.
Yeah, I don't see Man City dropping the necessary points, and even if they did, we'd have to win every single game, and even then, I can't see it happening, mate. I can't see
beating them. Like if we can somehow stay winning until we play them and then beat them and hope,
it's the hope that kills you, Paddy. It really is.
Yeah, we're just not going to win every single game, are we?
Football world here, gents, is just win the European Cup and make sure they don't win it. I think that's the best thing that we can do to save football.
Yeah. Dan says it's nowhere near over yet. Well, I don't know. It's definitely near over. I think it could be, for some people it is. I don't know. My toxic person trait is going from the league being totally done and then beating Brentford and thinking we have a chance again.
Yeah, look, I'll never knock anybody for believing or wanting to believe. Of course not. We should keep going, and we will keep going, and Klopp will keep going. But we have left ourselves. The draws will cost us ultimately, I think, this season. And You know, I want us to win the League Cup. I want us to do well in the FA Cup game coming up against Cardiff. I mean, you got to be tough for you with that one, Chris.
Oh, yeah. It's my hometown. But I'll tell you what, it's ridiculous, the kickoff time. Just so dumb. So dumb. 12 o'clock on a Sunday. The earliest train arrives at 12:11. It's dumb.
They fucking snuck that one in when I was on holiday as well. How dare they? 12 o'clock kickoff. Do they not know that that's like sleepy time for me?
Exactly. It's ridiculous.
They can always get the sheep up.
They can always get what?
They can always get the sheep up.
No.
Ride the sheep on horseback.
The nervous sheep. Meh. I bet you sheep.
If there's any Welsh people in the audience, I do apologize. But you know, Irish, Wales, we banter each other. Just call me an alcoholic. It's fine. You wouldn't be lying.
You potato eating alcoholic.
Yeah, exactly. Vodka is made from potatoes, but there you go.
We shall round that one up, ladies and gentlemen. Massive thank you to Mr. Chris Stonadge, Mr. Paddy Murphy, and me, because I'm fucking brilliant. We have done match reaction videos. Myself and Paddy have done our part of the agreement. Paddy, we sent all our match reaction videos. You know, like the good content creators that we are. Some of us weren't shaving the jizz out of our beards.
You know, I was busy, man. Come on, you have to allow.
Yeah, that's such a that sentence. Oh, that's funny.
Izzy Wizzy, let's do Izzy.
What's your thoughts on that? Craig just said,
don't tell her. Don't tell her.
No.
Right.
True.
I'm going to go before I get myself in trouble with Izzy. Look, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. Hit that subscribe button. Get yourself over to Mr. Paddy Murphy on TikTok and Twitch. Give him a follow. Get yourself over to the LSU transfer room as well. And the fully verified at Chris Stonadge there on Twitter as well. Give the lads a follow. We'll be doing a watch along of the Arsenal game on Thursday on Twitch, so I hope you can join us for that one. But I'll be joined by Paddy and Steve tomorrow for a Cop the Week show as well. Lots of love to you guys. Thank you to the sponsors, the One Football app. The Reds have got the 3 points, back to winning ways. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.